மார்க்கடம் சூழ்ந்த வைப்பின் இளையவன் மருங்கு காப்ப நாற்கடல் உடுத்த பாரின் நாயகன் புதல்வன் நாம் பார்க்கடல் சுற்றவியல் கைவடவரை பாங்கு நிற்ப கார்கடல் கமலம் பூத்தது என் போல வானகை கண்டான். Bhagavan Sri Ram was just looking like a blue lotus that has bloomed just in the morning on getting the rays of the sun in a beautiful pond. The pond was not empty. It was filled with all red lotuses and other kinds of lotuses. But the only blue lotus was Ram. So this blue lotus was guarded by another white cum red lotus who was Lakshmana. So this was the first time Vibhishana was seen, and with just the first glimpse he felt that there was a Jivana Sapalyam. The purpose of his life was achieved on having a darshanam of Sri Ram. Then Vibhishana went forward towards Ram, did an Anjali Mudra and fell prostrate at his feet like a dandam. Like a dandam is a stick. So he fell down like a stick. After the Dandavat Pranamam he told Ram, Parityakta maya lanka mitrani cha dhanani cha bhagavadgatam hi me rajyam jeevitam cha sukhani cha. Hey Bhagavan, for your grace, seeking your daya, I have left my family, I have left my children, I have left my kingdom, I have left my relatives, I have left everything in my life. All that I have brought is my Atma. I am doing an Atma Samarpanam at your holy lotus feet, hey Bhagavan. Ram put his hands on Vibhishana's shoulders and said, Hey Vibhishana, get up. For all that you have done, for all the devotion that you have towards me, I do not have anything in my hands to give. But I'll assure you one thing, hey Vibhishana. I will see to it that the beautiful city Lanka, which has been harassed by a king called as Ravana, will be no more, and you will be made the king. I am putting this as a promise that I will make you the king of Lanka in the name of my three brothers, Bharata, Lakshmana and Shatrughna. Aham hatva dashagrivam saprahastam sahatmajam rajanam tvam karishyami satyametat shrunutu me ahatva ravanam sankhe saputra janabandhavam ayodhyam na pravekshyami. I will not enter Ayodhya in the name of my three brothers, Tribhistrir Bhratubhishape. But Vibhishana in turn, he never wanted any Rajyam. He had left the Rajyam to reach Ram's feet, but Ram is finally giving him a Rajyam. This is what happens. When we say that we do not want anything in life to Bhagavan, Bhagavan will give us everything. But for that we should say that we don't want anything. That itself we are not ready to say. Then only we will get everything. So, Vibhishana never asked for Rajyam, but he got a Rajyam because of his devotion. Now this devotion is what Vibhishana asks or prays for, says Goswami Tulsidas. In his Ramacharita-manas he says, Vibhishana said, Hey Bhagavan, I do not want anything else. I just want one thing. Taila dharavat avichinna smriti santana rupa, says Bhagavad Ramanujacharya. In those days they never used to get oil in sachets. These days you get it in plastic bottles, sachets, like that. In those days, people, if they had to buy oil, they'll go to an oil shop. There the person whoever sells the oil will have different barrels. One barrel will be full of coconut oil, one barrel will be full of gingerly oil, one barrel will be full of mustard oil, one barrel will be full of groundnut oil. So he'll have various kinds of oil stored in various barrels. Each of these barrels will have a little tap attached to it. Now what we have to do is, in those days they used to take a little container from their house and used to go to that shop, and they'll ask, give me 500 ml of groundnut oil. The person used to keep the container below the tap and he used to open the tap. The tap opening is quite contrary to the opening of a tap of water. When you open the water tap, the water will sprinkle in all directions. So more than the water inside your bottle, there will be water outside the bottle. Whereas when you open the oil tap, the tap through which the oil flows, the oil will flow in a straight line inside the bottle. Likewise, our bhakti should be. Our bhakti should not be like the flowing of water. It should not go here and there. It should only be on Paramatma. It should only be on Bhagavan Srimad Narayan, like the flow of oil. Taila dharavat avichinna smriti santana rupa, says Bhagavad Ramanujacharya. Likewise, bhakti should be always perennial, ever flowing in the right direction. So Vibhishana prays, Hey Bhagavan, I want bhakti towards you, I don't want anything else. Sunahu dev sacharaachar swami pranat pal ur antar jami ab kripal nij bhagati pavani dehu sada siva man bhavani. Whereas the Tamil poet Kamban says, Vibhishana neither asked for the Rajyam nor for Bhakti, because he was not interested in Rajyam and he had lots of Bhakti. It was not necessary. For us, we have to ask Bhakti because we don't have Bhakti. But Vibhishana was a great devotee, he already had Bhakti in him. So why should he ask? So the Tamil poet Kamban says, it seems he asked for the Padukas, because Bhagavan's Vaibhavam can be rested on a particular object, which are his holy sandals, the Padukas. Bharata received it in Ayodhya, in Nandigramam, and he is still worshipping it. So Vibhishana, who had heard this, felt that he even wanted the Padukas of Ram. So he said, when you gave your dear brother Bharata your Padukas, why can't you give this servant also your Padukas? Tiruvadi mudiyil shudi shengadir buchi சேர்ந்த அருவரை என்ன நின்ற அரக்கர்த்தம் அரசை நோக்கி இருவரும் உவகை வந்தார் யாவரும் இன்பமுற்றார் பெருவரும் அமரர் வாழ்த்தி பூமழை பொழிவது ஆனார். Then Ram said, Hey Vibhishana, you may be asking for bhakti, you may be asking for padukas, but I have to give you something in hand, and all that I have is my word that I will make you the king. But I need to show you, how can I sign an agreement right now? Neither do I have a manuscript nor do I have an ink pen. So hey Lakshmana, get the waters from the Samudram and make him the king. One thing, if you notice, Bhagavan always cites a friendship, always has a friendship on the banks of water, some water body. With Guha in Shringibherapuram, he had friendship on the banks of river Ganga. With Sugriva, he had the agreement or the friendship signed on the banks of river Pampa. And likewise, the Rajya Pattabhishekam of Vibhishana happened on the banks, on the shores of Indian Ocean. So everywhere he finds some holy source, a holy water body. So he said, hey Lakshmana, coronate Vibhishana as a king right away. Abravir Lakshmanam Pritaha Samudra Jalamanaya Eva Muktastu Saumitri Rabhyashinchid Vibhishanam Madhye Vanara Mukhyanam Rajanam Rajashasanam. Here Ram said, hey Lakshmana, coronate Vibhishana as the king right away. Now if you see, Vibhishana had come asking refuge under the feet of Ram. Ram gave abhayam to Vibhishana. Vibhishana did Sharanagati at the feet of Ram. Ram gave abhayam to Vibhishana. Ram had said that he will make Vibhishana the king. But he is asking Lakshmana to coronate Vibhishana as the king. Why should Lakshmana do all the rites when Ram exists? And why did Ram ask Lakshmana to do? Does he feel that Vibhishana is a Rakshasa, so I should not do the coronation? In that case, even Lakshmana should not do the coronation, because Lakshmana is Ram's brother. And if he thinks that Vibhishana is to be underestimated, then he should not let his brother Lakshmana also do the coronation to Vibhishana. Then what was the reason? The reason was, if Ram had coronated Vibhishana, it would have been 100%. Since Lakshmana is coronating Vibhishana, it is 200%. Why that 100% more when Lakshmana coronates? Because more than Bhagavat Samagamam, more than getting in union with the Lord, it is always more enjoyable when you get in union with the devotees of the Lord. More than Bhagavan, it is the Bhagavata Sangamam which is more important and more influential at the same time, which is more cherishing. That is why Bhagavan said, if I do the coronation Vibhishana, it will not be that great. But if my brother, who's my devotee, who's my servant, who's my dear child, that is Lakshmana, if he does coronation to you, it will be more cherishing Vibhishana. So Rama asked Lakshmana to do the coronation. One more surprising thing is, the Yuddham has not yet started. Neither has Ram seen Ravana, nor has Ravana seen Ram. The Ram along with the monkeys have not even reached Lanka. They have not even started the construction of the bridge. They do not know how to construct the bridge. They do not know who will construct the bridge. They did not know who will cross the bridge. They did not know how strong is Ravana. But with what confidence did Bhagavan say, "Hey Vibhishana, I am making you the king of Lanka now itself"? With what confidence did he say? The confidence is, he is the Paramatma. Paramatma, Parabrahman Srimad Narayan, who has all the divine qualities, has the power to do anything. But he wanted to be born as a human being, go through the hurdles of life and act like a human being. He did do his acting well up to some extent. But when you keep a lot of water in a little bag, due to heavy pressure, what will happen is the water will start creating a pore in that container, whatever you have made, and it will come out of that particular pore. Why? Because of the extreme pressure, because of its heavy content. Likewise, Bhagavan's qualities are extreme and innumerable. And when he tried curtailing himself into an incarnation, that too that of a human being like Ram, it could stay in that container of Ram only up to some extent. There are certain instances where it forces itself out. He wanted to act like a human being. He wanted to act like a Manusha. But his qualities did not let him act like a Manusha. It time and again proved that Bhagavan Ram is not an ordinary human being. He is Paramatma Srimad Narayan. So he wanted to act like a Manushya, but all his gunas proved him Atimanushya. That is, they were all extraordinary. He wanted to be a human being. They proved him to be an extraordinary human being. So these kind of instances where Ram and Krishna, who were born as incarnations yet proved their extraordinary qualities, have been beautifully listed in a beautiful composition or a shloka grantham called as Atimanushastavam. Atimanusha Sheela Vritta Veshaihi Ativrittamara Vikramah Pratapaihi Atilanghita Sarvaloka Samyam Varaye Vaishnava Vaibhavavataram, says Bhagavad Ramanujacharya's principal Sishya Kuresha. So in that he is surprised and he asks, "Hey Bhagavan, on one side you are crying when you will meet Sita, on the other side you are coronating Vibhishana even before reaching Lanka. I am not able to understand your oxymoronic qualities. One side you are doing, you are crying. On the other side you are coronating Vibhishana. With what confidence did you coronate him?" Abdhim nateriya jigetana rakshasendram Naivasya Jagnitha Yada Chabala Balam Tvam Nisamshaya Sapadi Tasya Padebhya Shinchaha Tasya Anujam Kathamidam Hi Vibhishanam Cha. Swami Vedanta Deshika says, let him exhibit any quality he wants. But you know what is the principal reason for Ramavataram? It is not to kill Ravana. It is not to kill Ravana's son Indrajit. It is not to rescue Sita. It is not to meet anyone. But to say that when he is born on earth or wherever he is, he will always do a sadhu samrakshanam. He will always protect the innocent. He will always eradicate the evil. And he will always do the dharma samsthapanam. With all this, he will always give abhayam to those people who do sharanagati at his feet. Paravarapayo vishoshana kala parina kala nalajwala jala vihara hari vishika vyapara ghora kramaha sarvavastha sakrit prapanna janata samrakshanaika vrati dharmo vigrahavan adharma virati dhanvi satanvi tanaha. After having done the coronation, Vibhishana said, "Hey Bhagavan, whoever falls at your feet you give abhayam, and you are always bothered about their welfare. Forget about my welfare. I am your devotee. By your grace I will live happily, there is no doubt about it. but we as devotees want to do something to you. Hey Bhagavan, now how will we cross the ocean? Now Ram was now worried. Vibhishana, you give me an idea how to cross the ocean. Vibhishana said, we have to construct a bridge over the ocean. But to construct the bridge over the ocean, we need the sanction and permission of the Ocean King. Why don't you observe a vratam? Why don't you observe a vratam for 3 days for Ocean King? He will surely be happy and he will appear on the 3rd day and you ask his permission. Eva muktastu dharmatma pratyuvacha vibhishanah samudram raghavo raja sharanam gantumarhati khanitas sagarenayam prameyo mahodadihi. Listening to these words of Vibhishana, Ram said, your idea that I should observe a vratam for 3 days for Ocean King is very correct. I will surely observe a vratam for 3 days on the Samudra Raja. And he took an oath. Adhyame taranam vatha maranam sagarasya va. I will surely observe this vratam, and in these 3 days I am not even bothered even if I die. But this is my oath that I will surely observe the vratam. Ram then did an Anjali Mudra. He did an Anjali to Samudra Raja, laid a beautiful bed of Kusha grass or Darbham. Darbham is a very Pavitra grass. The grass itself, the presence of that grass itself is a sign of Pavitram. Pavitram is something very auspicious. So he laid a beautiful bed of the Darbham grass, laid on it, and he laid towards the Samudra Raja, and for 3 days he observed a fast, a vratam. So Ram was from then that day called as Darbhashayana Rama. Today, even today, there is a beautiful temple which is very close to this place called Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu. Rameshwaram is in Tamil Nadu. Close to that place, just in a few kilometers, is one beautiful temple on the banks, on the shore of the Indian Ocean. It is called as Tirupullani. In Tirupullani, in that temple, you can still find the Moolamurti, the deity of that particular temple in the Sannidhi, the Sanctum Sanctorum, lying on a grass, on a bed of Darbham grass. So, if we keep on saying that Ramayanam is a story, every time Ramayanam itself proves to us that look at this temple, look at that temple, look at this place, look at that river, look at this book, look at that commentary. So Ramayanam itself has enough proof to prove that it is more than a story and it is a truth. Rama laid in that posture for 3 days. Tata sagara velayam darbhanastirya raghavaha anjalim prangmukham kritva pratisishye mahodadhe. Now, this is beautifully described by the Tamil poet Kamban. He says, Taruna mangayai midappador neri tarungenum பொருள் நயந்து நன்னூல் நெறி அருகிய புல்லின் கருணை அம் கடல் துயின்ற நன் கருங்கடல் நோக்கி வருண மந்திரம் விதிமுறை எண்ணினன் வணங்கி. Tamil poet Kamban says, 2 oceans were lying down besides each other. No, we are surprised. There was only one ocean, the Indian Ocean. The Tamil poet Kamban says, the Indian Ocean is always existing. But besides the Indian Ocean, where Indian Ocean is an ocean of water, salt water, what can we do? For example, if a person is very thirsty, he is for example, think whether he is in Mumbai, Kolkata or in Chennai. These 3 cities are on the shores of the ocean. One is in Bay of Bengal, the other one is also in Bay of Bengal, the third one is in Arabian Sea. He is very thirsty and he is just on the shores of that particular beach. And I go and tell him, please take the sea water, you are very thirsty. How much ever the water could be, the sea could have plenty water. As far as your eyes can reach, there is only water. But can the person drink at least 1 drop of it? No, there is salt mixed in it. So, the Indian Ocean had lots of water, but still it had salt. But the ocean which was lying besides the Indian Ocean had lots of daya in it. Daya is like sweet. How much ever we eat sweet, we never feel like stopping. So who was that ocean who was lying next to the Indian Ocean? It was the Daya Sagara Ram. Ram is an ocean of Daya, mercy. On the other hand, Indian Ocean is an ocean of salt water. Now if we are given a choice which one to choose, we will surely choose only Ram because he is sweet water, whereas Indian Ocean is salt water. So the Tamil poet Kamban says, Karunaiyam kadal tuindranan karungadal noki Varuna mandiram vidimurai enninan vanangi. Now Ram observed the vratam for 3 days. At the end of the third day, he thought that this particular Samudra Raja will appear before him so that Ram could seek permission from him. Whereas the Samudra Raja did not turn up. Ram got really angry. Samudrasya data kruddho Ramo raktantalochanaha Samipasthamavochedam Lakshmanam Shubha Lakshmanam. His eyes started turning red. The little nerves that run in the eyes also started turning red, and his face, which is generally in a very pleasing note, now turned so angry. The monkeys who were around him really got afraid. They had never ever seen Ram at any instance turning so angry. Hanuman was so afraid, and so was Lakshmana. Even Lakshmana had never seen Ram so angry. Sugriva was all the more afraid. All the monkeys started running hither and thither on looking at Ram's anger. Now, when he got up from his place after 3 days, it seems his hair shook this way and that way. In Srimad Bhagavatam, they describe how Ram's hair shook. Yadrosha vibhrama vivritta katakshapada Sambranta nakramakaro bhayagirna ghoshaha Sindushiras sahasra parigrihya rupi Padaravindamupagamya babhashayetat. Ram turned towards Lakshmana and said, Hey Lakshmana, I have done a big mistake, Lakshmana. Sharanagati should also be observed only to the person who's fit to have the qualification where people can do Sharanagati to him. This Samudra Raja does not have any qualification for me to do a Sharanagati at him. Get my bow and my quiver of arrows. I will see to it with one arrow of mine, the entire ocean becomes dry. And when the entire ocean becomes dry, we will have a plain surface, the dry bed, and all the monkeys need not have to worry where and how to construct the bridge. We can just walk straight to Lanka. Go get my bow and the quiver of arrows. Prashamascha kshama chaiva arjavam priyavadita asamartha phalahiyete nirguneshu satam gunaha chapamanaya saumitre sharamstashi vishopaman samudram soshayishyami padbhyam yantu flavangamaha. Now Lakshmana was so afraid. He got the quiver of arrows and the bow. Ram took a arrow out of his quiver, inserted that into his bow, and he was about to do a mantrocharanam, and he did the mantrocharanam of Brahmastram. Brahmenastrena sanyojya brahmadandaniyam sharam sanyojya dhanushi sreshte vichakarsha mahabala. Well, he was about to release that arrow from his bow. Samudra Raja along with his wives came at the feet of Ram and said, Hey Bhagavan, please forgive us for all the audacity that we had of not listening to your vratam. Hey Bhagavan, you are known to be the person who always gives abhayam. We are falling at your feet. Please do a kshama of us. Please do forgive us for all the mistakes that we have done. When Samudra Raja asked for Sharanagati, when he did that Sharanagati, Bhagavan, who was angry, he immediately turned so soft. Look at how Ram changed his eloquence. The eloquent power of Ram was so strong, the way in which he changed his line. How was he actually? He wanted to dry the entire ocean and ask all the monkeys to be ready so that he could walk on the dry bed. Now, he in turn said to Samudra Raja, Why are you doing Sharanagati at my feet? Anyhow, you have done, I am giving you abhayam. Don't worry. I took the arrow of Brahmastram and wanted to ask you if there is somebody who's troubling you so that I could kill them. I did not want to dry you up, Samudra Raja. Will I ever do that? Then, this particular Samudra Raja said, Hey Bhagavan, since you have taken the arrow and you have done a mantrocharanam of Brahmastram, there is one particular mountain, and that particular mountain lies northwest. In that particular direction, there are a lot of asuras here. Those asuras keep on troubling me every now and then. Please, why don't you destroy them? Ram aimed his arrow from the southern tip of our country towards the northwest, and he aimed that arrow in such a way and released that arrow. With that single arrow, all the asuras in that region were destroyed. And that area, because of Brahmastram, the effect of Brahmastram, it became a non-fertile land and became very dry. If we see, the northwest of our country is composed of the Thar desert. Thar desert is not an area where you can find great plains or lot of cultivation happening. So it is supposed to be a very dry area, and because of it you can find the desert, the dry sands there. Hence, if we have to say that Ramayanam is true, we can also say that probably Ram would have aimed his arrow in the northwest and that area turned into the desert of the today. Though we may not have an exact proof of it, but if we look at the way in which Valmiki has composed the shlokas and we chart out a beautiful map based on it, each of the places are aptly written and can be seen even today. Tamma bravit tada Ramaha shrunume varunalaya amoghoyam mahabanaha kasmin deshe nipatyatam, and then he released his arrow. Now again the Sishya of Ramanuja, that is Kuresha, in his composition called as Atimanushastavam, is wondering when somebody abducted Sita, and when you came to know that Sita was abducted, you started crying like a child which has lost its toy. But at the same time you are coronating Vibhishana even before going to Lanka. And on the other hand, when Samudra Raja came and asked, please give me Abhayam, you said that you will surely kill his enemies, and you released an arrow from the southern tip of our country and it reached the northwest of the country and it destroyed them. While you had the capability and the power to destroy the Asuras who were northwest in direction, which is more than 800 yojanas, you could have aimed a single arrow at Lanka, which is just 100 yojanas down, and you could have killed Ravana. What was the necessity for you to trouble all the monkeys in constructing the bridge, walking on the bridge and then going to Lanka and then doing a yuddham with him and finally killing him? You could have released the same Brahmastram on Ravana. I am not able to understand what kind of a leela or what kind of a play you are doing, hey Bhagavan. Tvam dakshinasya nivasan udadhestatepi durantarotapayodi mahantaripe daityani jaikashaparayana kimeta lankan sthitotra kurushe nakilasma bhasma. Now Samudra Raja said, hey Bhagavan, you wanted me to give the permission for constructing the bridge. But before I could even say that you can construct the bridge, you helped me out by killing the enemies. Look at me, I am such a mean creation who has not even spoken about that. Hey Bhagavan, the entire world is that of yours. This ocean is that of yours. I do not know why you are seeking permission from me. This ocean itself belongs to you. Hey Bhagavan, but since you have asked, you can construct the bridge. But remember, every rock of yours will go inside the ocean. So you may not be able to construct the bridge, but without two people. There are two people in your crowd called as Nala and Neela. Nala and Neela are the incarnations of Vishwakarma and Agni. They have the power to construct the bridge, and they have the power of the celestial architect. So when they touch a stone and that is placed on the ocean, that particular stone will never drown, whereas it will float. With such floating stones, I am sure that you can construct a beautiful bridge in a very little time. Now all the monkeys started constructing the bridge. Each one started, if it was a small monkey, that would bring a small stone. If it was a bigger monkey, it will bring a bigger stone. If it was the biggest, it will bring the biggest stone. So each of them started throwing stones. Nala and Neela kept on touching the stones. There is one slight variation here. Tulsidas mentions that Hanuman wrote Ramanamam in each of the stones and that made it float. In Valmiki's Srimad Ramayanam, we never have such instance. Since we consider only Valmiki's Ramayanam as the Pramanam, I would say that the stones were brought by the monkeys, Nala and Neela touched it and they laid it on the ocean and they started floating and the beautiful bridge was getting constructed. Now there is one little aitihyam, an anecdote which is involved here. While each monkey, there were lots of classes. In monkeys itself there are lots of divisions. This class of monkeys, that class of monkeys, those monkeys which have a half tail, those monkeys which have a full tail, those monkeys which have the tail upwards, those monkeys which have the tail downwards, those monkeys which have a tail, half of it which are red, half of it which is white. So there were various classifications. Now These monkeys were bringing stones. Whenever we construct a house, we construct with bricks. But do we construct only with bricks? The mason comes and puts the correctly made or blended cement between each of these bricks, because the brick has to stand. For it to stand, there should be some cement that is to be put. Likewise, all the stones were being put. Who will put the cement or the sand between them for it to stay tight? It seems the squirrels started coming. They all felt all these monkeys are involving themselves. The monkeys also have a tail and we also have a tail. Why can't tail creatures do the Rama Kainkaryam? Why can't they do the service to Ram? So each of these squirrels started bringing. The monkeys felt that they couldn't walk very freely. When they looked down, they found those little squirrels walking towards the bridge. They said, "Oh, you squirrels, what are you doing?" Because what one squirrel was doing is, it used to go to the ocean, take a dip in the ocean, and used to come to the shore, roll its body on the sand. Since it used to have a dip in the ocean, its body used to get wet. Since it rolled on the sand, all the sand used to get attached to its body. Now it would again go back to the bridge where the monkeys were constructing, stand on the rocks and generally shake its body. Once it shook its body, all the sand which was attached to the little hairs in its body used to fall down, and they used to act like a probable cementing material for the rocks. So all these monkeys were asking, "What are you squirrels doing?" The squirrels in turn asked the monkeys, "It seems we should be asking this question, because whenever there is a construction of the house, there are two classes of people involved. One class of people will bring the bricks. The other class of people are the masons who will really put the cementing material between. So the masons are anyway one step higher in level than the people who bring bricks. So the monkeys were the ones which were bringing bricks, whereas the stones, whereas the squirrels were the ones which were the masons. So the squirrel said, "You should not be asking this question. We are the masons. We should be asking you as to what you people are doing. We are all involved in Rama Kainkaryam. So you are nobody to ask." So all of them started constructing the bridge. So in about 5 days time, a beautiful bridge was constructed. Beautiful bridge was constructed. Beautiful bridge was constructed.